Hello everyone and welcome to White Jasmine Everyday Cooking. I'm Huma Siddiqui, and as you know, I just love to create simple, easy, but delicious recipes. If you've been watching our show, you would know that by now. And if you haven't started watching it, it's time to start. So anyway, today we have a wonderful menu, and I wanted to brag a little bit about our cheese today because I'm going to use our tandoori gouda in the cheese bread. So we actually got 2 trophies last year when we did compete for one of the competitions for Wisconsin Grilled Cheese Championship. So I'm very proud of it because we made the grilled cheese sandwich right there. There were 2 different levels. One was just with cheese, and then the other one was you can use one more ingredient, which I used, kind of chopped pears to go with it. And we won in both of those categories. So here they are. And I hope that you enjoy the tandoori gouda and the other 2 goudas as well. They're all spicy, they're all a lot of flavor. I didn't want it to create, another pepper jack. So it has flavor, it has heat. So if you are into those things, give it a try. So today I'm going to make some tilapia. And you can see I just have a baking dish, and I've kind of put all the tilapia in one layer. So you don't want to put too many layers in the same baking tray. So just be careful about that. And what will happen with it that I wanted to make, I changed the recipe a little bit. I apologize to the audience because I was looking at our menu this morning and I thought, not quite digging it. So I thought, well, I'm just going to change the tilapia recipe a little bit because it's still cold here. So instead of making it, kind of Parmesan encrusted, I wanted to add like peppers. So I saw these beautiful chili peppers. Look how beautiful the colors are. So it's just my weakness when I do see color and fresh stuff, I'm going to buy it and make something out of it. So I'm going to use these and also some cilantro and a little bit of shallot. And that's all with our, saji masala is going to go on top of our tilapia. Then it's going to get baked for about, I want to say 15 to 20 minutes. So start to think about all those flavors in your mouth, and you will know what I mean. So let's get started. First, warm up your pan a little bit. And again, always never add any cold oil to the cold pan. You just want to give it a minute or 2 and just let it warm up a little bit. And then add some olive oil. And some whole spices, because what it does is really start to infuse the oil. Add some whole cumin, just a bunch, and some cinnamon. So think about the flavors. With cumin, it's a little bit kind of a fiery taste, and then you add some cinnamon to it, which adds a little bit of a sweeter taste to it. So it's all about playing with the flavors. That's the best part of cooking. Then I just want to add some shallots. As it starts to get warm, you can smell it. And at this point, your kitchen starts to smell just wonderful. And that is one of the best parts of cooking. So look at these shallots. They're actually quite big. It's massive. Which is fine. We can use more flavor, why not? And it's pretty strong. I like to use, either you can use red onions as well, but shallot has a little bit more flavor to it compared to the red onion. But if you have that at home, just use it. It will still turn out pretty good. So just kind of chop it. And throw that in your oil. As I can see, all the whole spices are starting to kind of sizzle around, and that's what you want. You can hear that wonderful sizzle. It's a good thing. Just a little bit more. And as you know, color and flavor, and these are just the important ingredients of your cooking. Without that, bland food is just waste of calories, I think. Let's just not even eat it. Why? it starts to kind of work its way, look at these beautiful peppers. Just going to do a few different colors so that adds such a flavor and color to the dish. All you have to do is kind of roughly chop it or slice it. Start throwing them in there. Start to think about the colors that it will bring to your tilapia. I mean, tilapia by itself is kind of, you know, bland and boring. And you just want to add more flavor to it. And then we'll add a bit of garlic and some spices. We'll all be good. Any questions?
Why did you say not to put the cold oil into a cold pan?
Good question. The reason being that, you know, if you think about it, if you have cold pan, cold oil, when you add the whole spices or any spice, it's just not going to bloom. You want your ingredients to really bloom from it. So the heat really helps with that. Just one more. And then we'll add a little bit of garlic. And some of our Saji masala, which is more like a chipotle barbecue flavor. So think about all the flavors coming together. So let's take a bit of garlic. I know, that's the good stuff. I like to take care of my heart. I hope you do too. It will be so good. How else would you add flavor though? You know? It's just a natural way to just let's add just a little bit more, I think. And we will just add a little bit of cilantro and then put this whole concoction on top of the tilapia and put it in the oven. So we'll take a short break. Don't go away. Welcome back to White Jasmine Everyday Cooking. Our fish is cooking in the oven, so let's make the bulgur salad. Now, bulgur wheat is actually, it's a really nice grain. It's very healthy for you, but sometimes it gets the bad rap because it's just so bland. So what I want you to do is really try to introduce that again in your diet, but also encourage you to add a lot of flavor to it. Because, you know, it is all about flavor. It's the way you cook things, it's the way you, add your flavors and colors is going to make a huge difference. You can take a very, very bland ingredient and actually make it wonderful. So that's the goal of our show all the time. So I thought, well, I'm going to try it, although some of my friends are kind of skeptical about it. And I've been hearing about it for, about a week or so since I talked about. So anyway, what you like to do is take the bulgur and add some hot water and cover it, just enough water to cover it, and then leave it for about 20-25 minutes, and just cover this bowl as well. So cover the bulgur with hot water and then cover the bowl as well, and leave it alone for about 20 minutes or so. It's going to soak all the water and see how soft it gets, and that's what you want. It's just kind of fluffy and soft, just like couscous. Almost, but the flavor is pretty strong. So what I want you to do is add a little bit of that to our salad, and then we'll add some fresh ingredients to it too. So I'll add probably half of it, and then we'll see how things go. Maybe we'll add a little bit at the end as well, if we feel like it. That's the best part of cooking, that you can just do whatever you want in your kitchen, however you want it. It's your territory. Do and feel whatever you feel like. So add some green onions. So what I decided to do is sort of add some fresh ingredients to it, and then we'll add some spices as well, of course. And some lime juice. I'm not a big fan of salad dressings because I think they cover all the good vegetables, all the good flavors. I like to taste the actual vegetables, my actual ingredients. So we'll just use just olive oil, a bit of salt, and also some lime juice. And that's about it. Keep life very simple. So add some green onions to it. And you can actually choose whatever ingredients you like. These are some of my favorite ingredients in salad. One of my friends is here actually who was a little skeptical about it, so I'm really curious to see what she thinks after we try it. And I hope if you get a chance to try it at home, let me know what you think. Just a little bit more green. Then I wanted to add some asparagus as well, because you know why? First of all, the color is nice, the flavor is good, but it also adds a bit of crunch to it. And I mean, nobody likes, mushy food, especially mushy vegetables. So just have that, a little bit of that crispy, flavor in your mouth, always good. So just take the stems off. And I didn't really steam it or boil it or anything, it's just fresh. We'll just chop it and throw that in here. And then I want to show you those tomatoes. They just look delicious. Can't go wrong with it. And if you want to make it hot, like sometimes I like to do, just add some jalapeno peppers in it. And you bite into it, there's a little bit of an explosion in your mouth, and that's always good. Look at these tomatoes. Just beautiful. But when you're choosing your tomatoes for this salad or any salad, you just want to make sure that they're firm. You don't want the mushy or the soft ones, because while you're chopping them, it's just going to get all ruined. And a sharp knife, of course. Very essential. Any questions? I think we had a question about cilantro a little while ago, right?
How do you preserve your cilantro? Mine always goes dead after a day or two.
Well, great question. What I like to do is, either keep it in a bowl in the water for a couple of days. It will stay fresh in the fridge. If you still haven't used it, then what you want to do is chop it really finely, and then add a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of water, and put it in ice cube trays. And you can just take a couple of ice cubes and throw that in your food. I know if you don't cook enough, often, then cilantro does go bad pretty quickly. So I've learned that trick. Hopefully it works for you. So then the tomatoes are going to go in, and then we're going to chop up some of this English cucumber. Now, why English cucumber? The reason being that there are hardly any seeds in it. So you want that, that kind of flavor in your salad, because it's not fun to have, munch on seeds at times, when you're trying to have your salad. So I like to use that because it's easy to blend in with all the other ingredients and just easy to use. Let's finish with the beautiful tomatoes, and I'm just going to add some garbanzo beans as well, because there's another bunch of protein that goes in there. This is a very healthy salad, actually. If you have leftovers, just use it in your pita bread and take it for lunch. So I'm going to finish chopping all these vegetables. When we come back, we'll put the salad together, we'll make the cheese bread, and I'll show you how the fish turns out. So hang in there. Welcome back to White Jasmine Everyday Cooking. I'm making the salad. It's almost ready. So our tomatoes are in, green onions are in, our asparagus is gone in, and I just want to chop the cucumbers. So let's take the ends off and this plastic wrap away. And you can see, can you see that there's absolutely no seeds at all in this one? And I love that. And it's a little bit watery, so I always like to add the cucumbers at the end, because if you add it at the beginning and you're making, I don't know how slowly or fast you chop your vegetables. So if you leave it until, in the end, it's just going to get, your salad is going to continue to get watery and watery, and you know, you don't want that. So let's kind of chop it in kind of little squares, and then just throw that in here. So another layer of flavor, another layer of color. Smells so fresh, it smells so good. I love it. Then we'll make the cheese spread with our tandoori gouda, and life will be very good in a minute. And then also just add some garbanzo beans, which are sitting right here. And I'm using the canned garbanzo beans, but you can, you know, soak it, boil it if you like. Sometimes if I have time, I like to do that. But canned ones are, you know, fairly good too, especially for salads. And this is America, you know, you can buy anything in a jar or a can. It's not hard to do. So let's mix this all together. I think it's the right proportion for the burger because you don't want to overpower it. You want the vegetables to actually be a little bit more dominating in this salad. So let's add our garbanzo beans, a bit of olive oil. Keeps everything moist and wonderful. A little bit of salt. Some whole cumin. And what it will do is just add a little bit of crunch and also a bit of flavor to your salad. So don't shy away from adding that. And if you think about any other flavors, go for it. A bit of lime juice. And then we'll be good to go. And this is all what I'm going to add for the dressing. So there we have a beautiful salad. A lot of color, and I think a lot of flavor. But we'll find out. Just mix it properly, a bit of cilantro. Just take a bunch, roll it, and just chop it. Whenever you're making any recipe, I think what happens is, at least for me, what happens is I start to think about the ingredients and I can almost taste it in my mouth, that how it will come together. And you know, with time, you just kind of, I think you just learn that. Once you know your flavors, you can put them together. So here is your beautiful salad. We're just going to set this aside and work on our cheese spread.
Are there other herbs that you would chop up sometimes to put in a salad that you use?
Maybe a mint is one of another favorite, or parsley. I hardly use that. But, you know, it's your kitchen. You can do whatever you want. A bit of olive oil.
Would you use the same grade of olive oil for everything you're doing?
Yes.
Now, you know, when you warm your oil and then you add the whole spices to it, do you ever add dried hot peppers or
Yes.
or fresh hot pepper?
That's one of my favorites, actually, the dried peppers, because they're so strong and makes everything so hot. And the flavor is wonderful. So I've used it quite a few times. And then you just pile on our cheese. And we'll leave it in the oven at 400 degrees for about, 5-7 minutes until the cheese melts, and it will be done. And just to make sure that, you have enough cheese to melt. Be generous. Just like with spices, you don't want to add a pinch, you want to add a scoop the same way, and with garlic, things like that. Because that's the way you want to, just be bold. And how bad can it be? Because when we shy away from things, we are creating our own barriers, really. So here we go.
Do you post recipes on your website?
Yes, when the show is aired, then we post our recipes as well. Unless you're taking notes, you can just write them right now.
Can you talk about what spices are in your cheese?
This actually has 13 different spices. So it has our tandoori masala and some chili peppers. So our tandoori is made of, cayenne pepper, turmeric, garlic, some canola oil, a lime. So a lot of different things. So that's what adds the flavor, the depth of flavor. That's what I like. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll get all of this ready. So I hope you're excited. I am too. Welcome back to White Jasmine Everyday Cooking. So we are almost done. I want to show you the fish. I took it out of the oven, and our cheese bread is back in the oven there. I just want to show you a little piece. How pretty that looks. And look at that. Isn't it yummy? And food has to be beautiful to be able to try it. I mean, nobody wants to eat ugly food, especially if it's something new. I at least wouldn't. So here we go. It's all cooked. There's a little bit of sauce around it, which is wonderful. And you can see I left the cinnamon stick in there as well, because I wanted all the flavors to really come out when it's baking too. So I didn't want it to just take all the whole spices out. So leave it in there. You don't have to munch on it. We'll just leave it in the corner as always. And then we have the salad ready. So I just want to start to plate that just to show you. Look at that beautiful color. And just fresh, very, very fresh, very healthy. Just a bit more. We'll put a piece of fish here. And I hope that you are inspired to just run to your kitchen and make something delicious. It doesn't have to be the same thing. It can be anything that you like. So here is a beautiful dinner or Sunday lunch, whatever you want to call it. I hope that you get to enjoy it with your family and friends, and we will see you next week.